Hi everybody, it's Christine Bertram. Coming in hot. Oh, and better late than never, right? It's 6:04, so I'm not so tardy. I got the clues at like 5:40 or 5:35, you guys. So my printer is not the fastest printer in the world. It takes about 15 minutes to print 8 sheets, and I finished printing them about 5 minutes ago. So thank you for being patient with me. Oh, better late than never, right? That's what we say. So here we are. Whoa, and the light's falling down. So we have mystery card night. That is like the worst magnifying glass ever. It is so dirty. Wow. I have a special one for up here that has the bedazzlies on it. And I have one for downstairs so that I don't have to remember to always have a magnifying glass. So we had a great class. I feel like it's dark in here. Does it feel like it's dark for you guys? I don't know. Let's see what we got here. It's dark outside. It feels like 6 o'clock going on 10 o'clock. This whole hour fallback thing that happened a couple weekends ago, it's so dark now at 6 o'clock that it's not even funny. If I flip this camera this way, you guys are gonna see how dark it is. There's like nothing. Like, okay, so see how dark that is? That's all a reflection. That's because it's so dark, and it's like, I can't wait for the time to start going back the other way. On December 21st, we'll start gaining in a couple minutes every day. Oh yeah, so it's getting to be the darkest days of the year here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It is the 17th of November. We had a great Let's Just Stamp. Yeah, I'm looking at the video. Oh, you guys are seeing outside right now. It's dark, it's black. And we get to go outside and rake leaves tonight in the dark. I'm gonna put my headlamp on. It's supposed to snow in the morning, and if we don't get these leaves all buttoned up tonight, they're gonna be a hot mess of not goodness. And Tyler, I got back yesterday, and by the time I got home from the FFA alumni banquet, it was like 4-ish. I didn't have the oomph to go out yesterday when I probably should have. So we're gonna get the plants all buttoned up, the pots all put away. Better late than never, right? That's what we always say. So hoping that we get that all done tonight, or the bulk of it. So, but yeah, so thanks for the tardiness, you guys. I was able to finish printing about 6 o'clock, and I ran up here quick, and here we are. So I got a great little card for you. With Jolene's help, she pulled together some clues for me today, and we'll go through and make it. I don't know quite what my card is going to look like yet. I cut my pieces and have them all situated. While I was cutting the pieces, I discovered that one of the measurements didn't seem right on one of the white pieces. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Feline. Hi, Nancy Mole. Hi, Jean Shoot. Hi, Deanne Dawn. I see all you girls are rolling in here. Hi, Hope. And there's Mrs. Patty Little from Arizona. Hello. There's Tony and Lisa. Hi, Susan. And Connie's here. Yay. Hi, Pat Bischoff. There's Debbie and Laura. I'm looking back now. I'm seeing that Jolene already commented, which is great. So we're going to tag team this. Hi, Lane. Hi, Sarah Merchant. There's Laura. Hi, Judy Sharp. Hi, Benita. And Jolene wrote it in here. She said, we'll be joining. she already said it. Yay. She got the clues to me a little late. And we had a measurement issue, so that we had to talk through that. And Jolene, she did comment in here. She said, just a little heads up for those in the chat that one of the Whisper White mats listed was 1 1/4 by 3 3/4, and it should have been 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. And we figured that out as I was cutting my paper. I'm like, well, this one doesn't have a mat, and it might supposed to, and I don't have the other white piece that I think is supposed to be there. So that is what happened. So hi Ellen, we updated the tutorial or the PDF with the clues. I will need to update the event in Facebook. Oh, I don't know if I can. I think that once the event starts, I can't go in and edit it. So I can go in and edit. When I send the thank you email, I'll have the correct measurement, and I also will have that correct measurement in my event website. So the website has the events. It's in that event for today. I'll fix it, and I'll make sure that this PDF has it correct. My version has it correct. So yeah, that happens, you guys, from time to time. We're only human. We don't catch everything all the time either. So it's been a while, though, since we've had a mistake on the clues. But it's white paper. Hopefully you can use the little scrap of a 1 1/4 for something else, and then just cut yourself a new 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. So Yay. So I was talking about that I had class this afternoon at 1. We made these Let's Just Stamp cards, and I want to share them with you because not everybody caught that video to know that we kitted up extra, and I am down to 10 extra of this one. We made 68 originally, and they were gone already a week and a half ago. So we opted to make more on 2 Fridays ago, and now 2 of those of the 12 are gone, and so we're down to 10. But we did this class this afternoon. They were so pretty. And I just want to put this out there. If anybody wants to get these cards yet, you can add them into your December package, or if you have a package going out later this week, you could always add them or next week. So Jolene can update the site. And yeah, so that's perfect if you want to update the website. If you want to go edit it. For Facebook, I don't know if they let you edit once the event begins. I want to say my answer is no, it won't, because once it's there, once the event starts, it doesn't, I don't think it's ever let me go in and change it. So I've got some of the Let's Just Stamp left. And the other thing that happened is Annette helped me kit up more of the Memories and More. So in case you guys are wondering, this was the Memories and More. There were 6 unique cards, and there were 3 of each card to make 18 total cards. And I bet you I have about 8 left now. No, 6, because we kitted up 16 more, and I believe that 10 of them were already spoken for. So I believe there's only 6 left. So, but that Memories and More pack should be coming back in the next week. And as soon as it does, I'll order what I need to order for what I owe people and for any ones that want to get the class for the first time. All right. Then I also mentioned, really quick, you guys, I mentioned that the Wounded Warrior, my dad wanted 5 sets to take to his American Legion meeting, and the guys got 2 of the 5. So it left 3, plus I had 2 left originally. So I think I still have 5 from the Wounded Warrior available yet, in case anybody would still like to make a $40 donation. We have these 6 cards. I have 4 or 5 of them that are made up already, so you could get them completed, like press that easy button and be done with it. And then I have 1 set that is for kits. I do believe that 1 person is waiting for their shipment, and I have to check to make sure that if they had a Wounded Warrior in there or not. But I'm pretty sure we have at least 4 of this one available. So I'm hoping to button that up soon so that I can make that donation to the Wounded Warrior Project. So hi, Mary Novak. Your O. I don't know what O is, Nancy. What's big O mean? I mean, I kind of know what a big O is, like in one sense of the word or letter, but I don't think that's what you're talking about. So I do have, during the live I did this afternoon, I shared some of the things and excitement and updates from backstage. And I found this sitting in the kitchen. This was my bag I got for backstage, and it was sitting in the middle of the kitchen floor, and it has the box in here of all the other things that I was going to show off to you guys. So I'll wait till after Mystery Card Night is done, and I will share what's in the box. Those are some other pillow gifts I got. Hi, Donna Grushki. Hi, Ramona. There's Sarah Mitchell. You have the bejeweled magnifying glass. Okay, good. I wasn't quite sure what you meant by the O. All right, but we're good now. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's go through our clues. You got my donation. I did. And didn't I reply to it? I thought I sent you an email saying that I got it and I really appreciated it. So there were a couple people who donated to Wounded Warrior Project directly using my fundraiser. So Nancy, you were one, and Mary Vogel was another one. So we appreciate that. But I'm pretty sure if you check your inbox, I sent an email to you either yesterday or this morning thanking you for it. It could have even been yesterday morning while I was sitting at the O'Hare Airport. I'm pretty certain I did, but hopefully you find it. All right, did you see where I commented earlier today in the live that I would like to take a set of made cards for the Wounded Warrior? I did not catch that, but we can make that happen. Yay. So I need to find, oh, here's a Post-it note. Perfect. Oh, Nancy, I got your link here, WWP link. I found the little spot here that I had my to-do for you, and I did it. Awesome. So, okay. So it was Jean would like a set of made cards. So that's perfect, Jean. I owe you an email, Jean, and I will make sure that it includes the set of made cards for the Wounded Warrior Project. So I know you've got a bunch of other classes coming, so we are going to add a set of the made cards to your shipment that's going out this week. Yay. Okay. Well, cool. Hi, Cindy Rentry. There's Debbie Carcella. Thank you so much. It's good to be back, you guys. It's always good to go away, but it's good to come back. And I did talk for about 52 minutes this afternoon before we started class. So if anybody's looking for an update on what I talked about the trip and everything in between, make sure you go watch Let's Just Stamp from this afternoon for the first 52 minutes, because I don't know if I need to repeat everything because it's there, right? So we're going to get going with Mystery Card Night. And anybody looking for an update on anything, just go to the Let's Just Stamp from this afternoon. So I'm going to turn that to be off. I forgot to do that earlier. I need to get a new printer. Jolene said I need to get a new printer. Oh, yikes. I'm getting you a new printer for, oh, Jolene. So I have one of those printers that there are two things that are an issue with it that I try to figure out. But it's one of those where it's got liquid ink and it has their little plastic bottles. And so it's not ink cartridges, but it's a plastic bottle. And then you fill it up and it uses a lot less ink. But you guys are going to laugh because the clues here, I need to add more ink. So I just got to do that. I got to pull it all apart and take everything off of it. And yeah, but okay. So Jolene, don't buy me a new printer because Tyler really wants me to invest in a big office type printer that can print thousands of pages in a fall swoop, right? So where I get all my copies printed right now, it's a local business that we know, and they rent the printer, or they bought the printer and they have a contract. So I'm actually looking to invest in a copier that is like huge, right? That is probably 4 feet tall, like right, that goes up to my chest, 4 feet tall by like 3 feet wide. So I'm looking to have an industrial strength printer, and then I could have everything printed at home here versus having hundreds and thousands of copies sent to Rachel. This is like one of the only things that I print here at home in color is this. Everything else is sent off to my gal for printing. But yeah, so before you, if we're gonna spend money, I want to put it into my real printer, like the one that Tyler's been asking me to buy for 2 years. So he's always good at helping me spend money, you guys. So all right, we're going to get started on clue 1. Oh wait. Let's go over clue number 1. Okay. Gotta remember to get that magnifying glass in there. I'll make this a little zoomy zoom bigger so you guys can see. This is the official one. This is the correct one that we had. We had this incorrect on here. That's what we had wrong. It said 1 1/4 and it was supposed to say 3 1/4. So what we have for white and vanilla cardstock, I originally cut it at 3 1/4. And so I have a scrap piece here. I'm going to take this out and put it back into the scrap yard, right? And then what you need really is the 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so there's 1. And then we needed a 1 by 3 3/4. So that's 1 inch by 3 3/4. And then you would also need a 3/4 inch by 3 3/4. So these are all the same width. And then this one is a 2 by 3 3/4. I managed to come back in time. Hey, you got it early, girl. Bonita, it's 1:30 by you. So we shouldn't be long for class. We probably have 40 minutes, I would guess, as long as I don't dinker around too much. So these are the 4 white pieces, okay? Then you need a piece of corning cardstock. I chose early espresso. There's no score lines on it. What we wrote on here is it's 11 by 4 1/4, right? So it's 4 1/4 wide by 11 long. And it says hold off on scoring until the next clue. So we'll come back to the rest of that, right? Then we have a coordinating cardstock 2, 5 pieces. All right, so we have a 4 by 4, which is this one right here. We also have a 4 by 3 1/2, which is this one. And I'm gonna kind of line these up so you can kind of see what we got going on. So that mats with the white. We have a 4 by 2 1/4. That should mat with that one. We have a 4 by 1 1/4, which should mat with this one. And then we have a 4 by 1, which should mat with that. And then there's a piece of designer paper or pattern paper that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And that should mat with your last coordinating cardstock 2 mat. And that should be all the paper. So let me zoom out so you can see I was lining everything up here. The only thing that I don't have exact measurements are scraps, right? So I did pull in some of these scraps because I know I'm going to probably doing a little stamping. I might be doing a little die cutting. I'm not quite certain. I have an idea of what I'm doing for the card, but I don't necessarily know how it's really going to turn out. So I'm going to pull in beautiful pumpkins. I've got Thanksgiving coming up here in the States soon. So I thought, well, this might be great to bring in some pumpkins and some of this stuff, and we'll see what we end up with. And that's what I have for stamps, dies, inks. Now for ribbons, okay, so for inks, I brought my Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, and Old Olive. I feel like those would look nice. And then I brought in these guys are some new gems. I thought maybe those crumb cakes would look nice. But then I also brought in, these are the Cajun dots, the Cajun Craze dots. So those might look even nicer actually, or maybe a combination. I brought some of the Early Espresso twine. I do have linen thread over here too, so I could bring in some linen thread, but you're gonna need some other things like adhesives and anything for cutting paper and scoring. So love that one. Good. Glad you like it. So this is what we've got going on for now. The reason that we're up here in the mini hive, I'm excited to say that Karen Forward is doing her second ever class here. She's got a room full of 9 lovely ladies, which is pretty cool. Is it 9? She has 3, and then she has 3 and 3. Yeah, she has 9 people. They're doing a sampler down there. A winterly treetops, or the nests of winter sampler. So pretty cool. I know Kelly Gibson got a class to go, which is super cool. Kelly, we have that sitting on the back counter for you already. And so if anybody else was interested in seeing it, she has an event out there. So, but it's awesome. It's so cool to see the girls doing classes. So, okay, without further ado, I've gone through all the papers. Let's work on what this card is going to look like and do number 2. All right. So let's flip down and bring in clue number 2. This clue is going to be the clue where we score my espresso paper. So I'm going to just set this stuff off to the side here. When we score this, it's going to help figure out what this card actually is going to look like. So let me grab, I'm all about a scoring tool like this. I love that because to me, it always scores it perfectly. Where if I use my cutter to do it, it could be off a hair. So it says on the 11-inch side, we want to score this mat at 2.5. So 2.5, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, 8 1/4. So you guys can see the numbers right here. You're scoring on the 11-inch side. You're scoring at 2.5, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. So samplers are great, Jean. And whatever size frame you're working with is going to denote kind of what size squares and rectangles you use. So 2.5, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, 8 1/4. And she's got here mountain, valley, and that we need to burnish and fold on the score lines. So let's go over here, get this out of the way. So we've got mountain, valley. All right, so let's just set this off to the side. So we've got a mountain, valley. All right, let's burnish this and then we'll open it up and see what we got going on. Pauline says samplers are fun, but I never know what to do with them. You should give them away as gifts. That's always, and now it's the holiday gift giving time. So samplers make great gifts, or you can use them to decorate your own house. All right, so we've got a mountain. So this is a mountain. That's a valley, mountain, valley. And I'm thinking it goes like this. But number 2 was all about the scoring on those measurements and then burnishing it. All right, so hopefully you guys are good with that. I'm going to keep this here for just a second longer. 2.5, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, 8 1/4. All right, so that's what our clue number 2 was. Let's do clue number 3. I can't even see this magnifying glass. I look through it and all I see is blurriness. So, all right, so let's see what 3 has in store for us. Adhere the coordinating pattern paper 1 mat to the 4x4 mat. Okay, well that's easy enough. Let's do that. So that should be easy. So all we're doing is adhering that square to this square. So in our lingo, we call that designer series paper, but not everybody refers to it as designer series paper, so we call it pattern paper. And for my paper, I'm trying to look to see if there's a top or a bottom. Like that mushroom's going that way, that one's that way, that one's upside down. So just gotta figure out which way you like the leaf. I like the leaves like that. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this. So what we did is we adhere these 2 together and then adhere this layer to the 3rd panel down. Be cautious that you don't, so that the adhesive doesn't extend beyond the card base. Okay, so the 3rd panel down. So what's a panel? So to me, this is a panel, that's a panel, this is a panel, that's a panel, and that's a panel. So it says the 3rd panel down. So this is 1, 2, 3. And so when we line this up on here, it should adhere onto that 3rd panel. And what she's saying, because I only wrote on here, be cautious so that adhesive doesn't extend beyond. What she's talking about is this area right here. So when we shut this card like this, it's still gonna be an A2 size card, like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? And you should be able to see brown around the edges, right? So what I'm gonna do is, so I don't risk putting glue where I don't need it or want it, I'm gonna put the glue onto here instead, okay? So this again is the 3rd panel down, and I'm going to basically center this so that I see equal amounts of brown on each of the 4 sides, like that. Jean says that's what I would do. I have 4 people that I would do samplers for and then make them different ones for the seasons. Yeah, exactly. They're pretty good gifts. They're amazing. Okay, so this was our clue number 3. Adhere the pattern paper to the mat, the 4x4 mat, and then adhere it to the 3rd panel down. So this is what we have going on right now, right? So if you guys got it, it's a fun fold, and it's gonna be opening like that. Okay, all right. Without further ado, let's move over Red Rover to number 4. Red Rover, send clue number 4 right over. Here we go. So for this clue, we're gonna match up the white vanilla mats to the slightly larger coordinating cardstock 2 mats. We'll call them, you're getting your fries. It's the small, medium, large, and extra large. You're supersizing it or you're going small. So let's look at these, right? So we had, that one would be the large. This one would be the small. That one is the medium. And then this one is the extra large, right? So I've got the 4 different sizes here. From the top panel to the bottom panel, the layers are adhered as follows. So a little bit not in order, but we're gonna go through it and make sure we're lined up properly. So from the top panel to the bottom panel, the extra large, which is this one, is going to get adhered to the top panel. So this is going to go on here like that. And then there's another panel here. The next one is the medium one. So if we look at the medium, that's this one. This guy will go here, like that. Okay. And then we have small, so let's flip again. I think that's backwards. Hang on. I think this one should go here. So you guys, I'm gonna do a little switcherooing here. This and this should be opposite, I believe. So, because this small one fits perfect right here. And then when you flip this way, the medium one fits right there. And then the last one fits right here. And I'll be honest, I think that it could be a hair higher. So let's see what happens. We'll go with that for now. So let's map out this. So it was this one, and then this one, that one, and this. But the question that I have is, what are you going to put on your things? So let's start with this one first, right? So if I put this on here, right, it's going to fit right like this. I've got a white canvas right here, right? So the question is, what am I going to put on here? So that's where I pulled the beautiful pumpkins. And I thought to myself, oh, well, let's make a fall card. And I've got this pumpkin and this pumpkin. And we've done some fall cards using the pumpkins. So I was thinking about having a pumpkin right there, right? And we'll use both stamps. And then I was thinking about putting another little pumpkin right about next to it like that. So that's what I was kind of thinking of doing with pumpkins. Then there's a saying in here that says, so grateful to have a friend like you. And I thought that would look really pretty right there. We'd have a stem coming out, add a couple gems there, and then here. And was thinking that I would stamp these pumpkins on scrap paper, which I brought right here. So I pulled some scrap paper. Hi, Sherry Ott. And I'm going to stamp them, and then I'll die cut them, is what I'm thinking. All right, so I am just going to stage a pumpkin and a pumpkin on those blocks. And then we need a little pumpkin, the saying, and some stems. But to me, that white's still going to be a little white. It's like too stark. So I have this feeling, and we need the stem. I think if I have my new stamps up here, I don't know, I think I brought them up here. If I have my new stamps up here, there's a lasting linen. There's some sort of a linen. I think I might try to do a leaf too. And we also have a biggin stem. So let's grab the big stem, and he can go on here. Then the other saying that's in here is, thankful for the small things. Well, let's see here. That might fit really nicely on one of those white strips, right? So let's grab him and put him on a block. And I don't know what I'd put on the last one, so I don't have any more words to choose from, but I'm thinking that this last one will have some more words. And Jolene, I don't know if you're still watching. Hi, Sherry Martin. Jolene, I don't know if you are watching or not, but if you are, give me a shout out. Let me know you're watching. But I think that for me, if this was going to be that piece, it would be 2.5 by 3 3/4. So I might just cut a different piece, because our cardstock, this one, I was thinking it would make more sense potentially that this be 2.5, and then our white that's supposed to be 2, I would make that 2 1/4. So I may just cut them as a little bit bigger so that they take up that whole space. So Jolene is, I wonder if you folded it upside down. You know what? That's very possible, because you're thinking that maybe I would have done it this way, and then this would have fit here. Oh, I did. Okay, that's exactly what I did. Okay, so she's right, so we're good. Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense, you guys, because then this wouldn't be backwards either. Okay, so that's exactly what's happening. So because this isn't going to make that big of a difference if that was that, and it wouldn't have made that big of a difference if it was here, right? So that is exactly what happened. So Jolene we figured it out, you guys. So instead of me working and refinagling things with this piece of paper, I'm going to work with this and then just cut a different piece for here and then reorder. So I will say that if anybody's working on this and they haven't glued their stuff, technically this mat, this chunk right here, this is 2 3/4, and this one's only 2.5. So what we're saying is the 2 3/4 section should technically be at the top, and it should go the opposite way. So Okay, I hope you guys are free. So this is what happens, right? Now, this is exactly what happens in card making. When you're at home, you will do things not correctly compared to what you think they should be. And what you learn to do is you punt, right? And you make it work, right? So hi, Patty, right? Hi, Kelly Sheridan. Yeah, I started with, so technically what should happen is this should be, it should be like, I should have glued, I know what I should have done. So I just did the opposite side. I did the wrong side. So I'm going to keep working with it, guys. So just know that if you glue it this wrong way, we might just have to cut a new piece there. So no big deal. And then our order does get flipped because of the way I did this. My little guy is going to go here and the bigger one's going to go there. And if you follow Jolene's, you just want to make sure. And I don't think Jolene, I don't think that's called out on here. We might need to make sure that maybe you should add, so if anybody does this card later, we should add on there that the 2 3/4, right, the 2 3/4 panel should be at the top. And they look, I will honestly say, they look like they're the same size, you guys. This panel and this panel, they really kind of look like the same size. So, all right, but it's all right, you guys. We're gonna keep her moving, as Charlie Barons would say. So, and again, these orders are gonna be off a little bit, right? So I think we got it figured out though, now that we got it. So, all right, perfect. It's all good, guys. So I'm more worried about what my front panel is gonna look like. So, all right, so I don't wanna quite glue stuff yet. So I wanna figure out what I'm stamping and what I am going to be putting on here. And that's what we're gonna look at in clue number 5. So I kind of like, I'm gonna reverse our clues a little bit here. So clue number 5 is, think about your layout. And now that you got it figured out, now you can know. Do you want to do your own pattern on the pattern paper here? Like, do you want to make your own pattern? Do you want to stamp large focal images on it? Do you want to use sentiments? So this is what's important, is you got a lot of white pieces here, right? So it's going to be important to figure out what you want on them, because all you get is one piece of pattern paper and then you're making the rest of it. So once you decide on what you want, you're going to stamp your focal images, add your sentiments, figure out how you can add ribbon, right? So I know that I want to stamp some pumpkins. So I'm just going to like pause on 5 and like hold, we're going to be in a holding pattern for a moment, right? So I want to stamp some pumpkins and we're going to cut them out then. So let's see here. I need a piece of scratch paper, so let me just see if there's one there. Nope, none there. Okay, one moment, please. One moment, please. Okay, scratch paper, check. And let's see here if I was gonna look for some linen thread. Okay, got that. And all of the stamps. Don't think that I have. Oh, I did! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, I didn't think that these were up here, but they are. These are what I've got from stamps that recently launched in the online exclusives, maybe back in September. There's one in here called Lasting Linen. There it is. I feel that one was gonna make a presence on the card, and we're gonna do it in the crumb cake ink color. All right, so we're good. I feel like that's gonna be amazing. So we're going to grab our scratch paper here. All right, stamp off, not good. Okay, let's try you again. We're gonna make a Cajun Craze pumpkin. Glad you got back. Me too. And it's got a fur on it or something. So when you have stamps like this that are very solid, you can see every little detail in them, even if they're not supposed to be there. So I'm going to give it a washy. Can you see that thing needs a little bit of ink? I mean, a little bit of water. All right, so let's try this again. Much better. So we're gonna stamp at second string. So let's grab, okay, this happens, you guys. This is a real thing. I pushed down, I did not give it enough pressure. If you look at the stamp, you can see it's darker there and it's lighter there. So if I go to stamp this again, it's gonna be darker there because there's more ink there. So when you're doing this, you have to make sure that you get a nice, even second strength. And the way you do that is by making sure you get a good stamp off. Okay, there's something going on with the stamp in that spot because it did the exact same thing. You can see that it's darker there. So I'm gonna take my ink one more time and we're gonna try this again. And knowing that there's something of an issue, I can see there's an issue with that stamp right there. I'm gonna push harder on that side and it stamped better, okay? So let's go. I wonder if that pumpkin's gonna fit. Oh yes, okay, so I'm gonna use this piece. This was going to be a scrap. I'm gonna save that for the mat that I need to redo. So now I'm gonna stamp here, but I'm gonna make sure there's something going on with my stamp over on that line, that edge. I'm gonna push harder there. Okay, very good. Then it's two-step stamping. So I'm gonna take this more detailed one and you're gonna stamp, I'm going to stamp this at first string. I know that I should have a foam pad under there. That would be a good idea. So we're lining this up. Okay. There's that. Then we're gonna try for a small pumpkin, but we want to stamp off. I'm gonna go over here and this little Jude. It's gonna go right over the top. Oh, that's all right. And then I think what we'll do is make some stems. I've got my die cutting machine by me here, and there's a spot for some leaves that we can die cut. So we're gonna stamp, I don't know, how about 2 leaves like that? And then we're gonna make a stump in crumb cake. So let's grab the crumbs of the cake, and we have that one, that one. Okay, so I'm gonna die cut that stuff momentarily. What I like to do, I like to separate my pieces here. And then we'll cut this off so that I could put them all in the machine at the same time. Except for I only have 1 leaf die, so I'll have to do one at a time there. Okay, but as long as I've got that done, we're gonna let that sit for the moment. This bigger white piece, I am going to use that stamp set that I was so excited that's up here. So I'm gonna take this and inky dinky do it up. Okay, very good. And this goes right on here like that. And then you take the scratch paper. It's like upside down stamping. Yep, the foam pad. I think that I have one right in the drawer here. Yeah, I don't normally stamp photopolymer without a foam mat, but I've not had any problems with the glass. But I think it is definitely something in my stamp that there must be a line there because you could kind of see it. So, oh well. All right, well, this is upside down stamping with a background stamp. And I was thinking that that would make cool texture on the back, right? I'm liking it. I love it. Want some more of it. That's good. All right, so you're Dirty Bird. Let's put you over here so I don't get inky dinky do all over you. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is pull in the die cutting machine, which I have right here. And my dies are right there. So let's grab these guys. watch you don't get your arm in the ink pad. I shouldn't know, I've got them all shut. So we need this pumpkin, the leaf, that, and you know, this stem, you have to be so careful not to lose that little dude. I think I'm going to die cut some of that out of olive if I can. So what I'm working on is figuring out, oh, there's another one right there. Okay. What I'm working on doing is figuring out what my whole top part's gonna look like, right? So then that's gonna go here. Now, let's get all these guys lined up. So we've got a leaf, the stump, that. These are gonna be an old olive. We got our pumpkins, right? Let me get some tape really quick. So I do like to use this low-tack artist tape to hold my dies onto the pumpkin, or onto the paper. Otherwise you've done all this work and then they shift around on you. We don't want that. So I'm just going over here. None of them stuck. Oh, it's funny. Okay, let's try again. Need them to stick. This side I moved on me too. It's a dirty bird. Not a dirty bird. It's a dirty bird. A birdie bird. A birdie dird. I do that a lot. I actually mess up the first letter with the next letter of the next word. I started doing that when I was really young. Okay, then it's a birdie dird. Watch you. Okay, so then here's our little caramel, or creamy caramel. No, crumb cake. You guys remember creamy caramel, don't you? That was an ink color from back in the day. And we've got a leaf that we're going to do here. I might just do one of them. See how it looks with just the one. And then we'll grab some old olive cardstock. All right, so here's this guy. All right, so that's taped. And then they find some old olive cardstock. One moment, please. And okay, so I got some old olive cardstock here, and I'm gonna just cut out a couple of these guys. And let me run these through. And see what we can put on the front of this card. All right, so this is how I had this lined up. We got a leaf set. There's some individual leaves here. Here's our stumparoo. Oh, that got crooked. So if that happens to you, you can just take your scissors and fix it. Well, that one looks all right. And here's pumpkin. He looks good. And then we've got big pumpkin. He looks decent. And the last little stumparoo. Oh, he did good. Okay. So what happens when the die looks like that? And it twisted a little bit? All you really got to do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. And cut off the white part. And it'll be okay, right? So now no one ever knows that it was cut a little bit wonky. So all good there. So now what I want to do is map this stuff out and see what it's going to look like. Because ultimately, this is going to flip down like that. And we're going to have pretty designer paper down here. So it's going to map out my pumpkins. So there's one here. And I think I want the big dude over there. Little dude there. And this stem is going to go there. And we've got a stem here. And these leaves, let's just see what they look like, right? So that one is the one that wasn't stamped. And then maybe they'll look better stamped. Or some combination of them. And then maybe we could put that little guy over there. But I'm just going to cut this just to see once if he'll look good or not. Hello, Mitzi Stanley. All right, let's just cut this last little one out here. Are you talking a brayer, Mitzi? The roller would work also. It sure would. It sure would. Okay, I'm just going to cut one more of these leaves out. I don't know if I like the combination of the die cutting of the old olive leaves mixed with the stamping. It's not very cohesive to me. Oh, that guy twisted as well. So if that happens, just take your scissors and you can take off the extra white area. That's all right. So if you guys see here, I've got some die cutting and then some stamping. So I wonder if this will look better with that one stamped. And then maybe I don't need that one. I think that looks okay. Then I'm trying to debate if I like the viney thing, and I don't think I mind it. So I might just leave that. And then there's a saying in here that I was going to put right up there, and I was going to do that in espresso. Now, I'm not quite certain how it's going to look on top of this lasting linen print. It's very possible that it might be getting lost. So if that's the case, then I might restamp it and put it so that the crumb cake is at second strength. But we're going to find out right now when we stamp this if we can read it or not, because that's important. You can't read the sentiment through the background. You need to get the background lighter. Okay, but pretty certain I can read that. You guys can read that too, I think. So the only question is the background too busy for it? Maybe it needs to be more subtle. Okay, so if that's the case, we can figure that out. And the way you figure that out is by doing it, right? So you just play around. So what we're going to do is grab the thing back and ink up. So remember that was first strength. I just want to see what second strength is going to look like. And so how do you get second strength? You need to take and get a little bit of that ink off, right? And then put it on here and do second strength. So let's put this back on here, and now let's ink this up. The linen stamp acts as lines almost for us. Yeah, it does. It certainly does. I'm curious though here if it'll look better, a little lighter. So you can see there's a difference here. That looks like that, and that just gives a little softness. It's a little softer. So I'm going to grab the espresso ink pad back out, and we're going to stamp that sentiment one more time. And we're going to put "so grateful to have a friend like you." Jean said, "You like the background." Me too. Oh my gosh. So I am a big fan of background stamps like this. So I don't use them a lot in cards I design for you guys, because I don't always assume, I don't do a lot of stamping, right? Like we always design stuff that doesn't really require a lot of stamping, but I absolutely love this kind of a background because it just gives it a subtle difference in the back. Like it doesn't just, it's not so like that. That's cool to me. It's not very distracting, but it's not so white, right? Where there you could have any color too, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave this open for a moment because I'm gonna use it for a sentiment. But I just want to map this out again here. So now if I put my pumpkins on here, I like the little bit softer look a little bit better, right? Okay, so now that I'm good, I'm going to glue this, and we're going to cover up the darker side and put you on here. And then I know that I'm going to put that right here. I'm not going to worry about ribbon going underneath it, but I do know that I don't want to put glue on the part that hangs over, so I'm just going to put a little glue right on that top panel. So this is the first panel. Remember, my panel is not correct. My panel is not the right size. It's supposed to be this panel right there. So, but that's okay. The card's still, I think, going to be the right size. I still think it's still 5.5, so we're still good. All right, so that's going to go like that. And then what's going to happen is this little guy is going to go in here. But he gets covered up and he gets hidden. So we're just going to glue him and be done with it. So we'll do that. That. So he's just a little bit of extra color and decoration. Now, here's the deal. If I put that, wait, let me think about this. I'm going to cut a new strip because I shouldn't have put glue on here. I want to put that background stamp on here. So this is 3/4 by 3 3/4. Hang tight, you guys. I want to stamp that background stamp on there because I think that would bring it home and make it really cohesive. So I'm going to go 3 3/4 by 3/4. And I think I'm also going to do that on these other two right here. So let me bring him back. We're giving him a workout tonight, is what we're doing. Darker background for you. The pumpkin stems are very light. Add color with blends. Okay, so they are very light. So I think what I might do is I could potentially use espresso at second strength for them. I agree, they are really light. So I'm gonna do some crumb cake here. And we're gonna wipe off a little bit of the color. Okay, and then I'm going to line. So we said that this needs to be, you guys wouldn't have to be doing this if I had my numbers right. So this is going to be 2 1/4, I think is what we said it needs to be. So I can always cut it later too. So let's just get this on here. And then I'm gonna put this guy on here. Right, like that. Okay. Let's get some decoration on each of these. It does get covered, but when the panel flips, you see it, yes. So what I'm gonna do is put this, it just adds a little bit of color to it. So and then it'll match, right? Now I'm gonna glue this, right? And it gets tucked underneath in here, right? So again, mine is backwards. I gotta be different, right? So that one's gonna go there. This one's gonna go there. And then I'll cut a new one for there. All right, so then this size. So you guys, just remember, when we first started, I did mine upside down. So this is 2 3/4. I need this to be 2 1/2. One moment, we're going to cut this really quick. So 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay, so how is that? I did that wrong. It's supposed to be by 4. You guys, naughty Nancy would say it's just paper. 2 1/2. It's true. It is just paper. By 4. You guys should have yours right as long as you followed what I shouldn't have been doing. Okay, so that's done. And then now the white is 3 3/4, which is right here. 3 3/4 by 2 1/2, I think. No, 2 1/4. You only have to do this if you glued yours like the opposite way, like I did, right? But I'm gonna have that there. Okay, so that's good. And then I have one more panel left here. So let's grab the crumb cake one more time. And go off one time. Pull this in. And then put this back. Okay, so we added a little bit of the pattern to this guy. And then this is the one where I'm going to use that long, skinny sentiment. Thankful for the small things. That's going to go right in the middle. Right there. And then, okay, that will go. Didn't I have a little guy? Oh, I moved him over here. Okay. So these two things will get glued down, and then I can glue this one down. All right, so I'm getting glue happy, guys. Bigger Tigger's outside with the girls. He's the ladies' man right now, so I don't have to worry about him jumping up here. So we're going to put that guy here. And then this one. is there. So there's gonna be a hidden message underneath here. Sorry, I'm right here putting that on. And then our little hidden message right there. And then I'm gonna go grab one more stamp set and we're gonna stamp a sentiment on there. I think it's gonna be autumn something or others. Autumn trees, nope. And autumn ambers, amber autumn. There's a set here. Okay, so we've got, so grateful to have a friend like you, thankful for the small things, blessed to have you in my life, or autumn wishes. So let's do autumn wishes. And we're gonna put that one right there. Let's go, oh no, we're taking our chances. If it's crooked, it's crooked. It's a comic flip card. Yes, it is. All right, okay, I can handle that. So that's done. But now we talked about our stems being a little too light and getting washed out. So let's look at them for a moment. All right, so I think we're done with stamping. So we're gonna shut these guys up. And all we gotta do is get our pumpkins put on the front. I haven't been paying attention to clues. So we're at clue 5 yet, right? Think about your layout, blah, 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 ribbon, all that good stuff. So let's just, hang on, I'm still standing here. Let's look at number 6, just in case we need to do something with number 6 before I get too far ahead of myself, okay? So once stamped, adhere the white vanilla mats to their corresponding cardstock 2 mats. Okay, so we kind of like did that. So that's why I wanted just to make certain that I'm not too far ahead of myself. But there we go. So that was 5. And going back to number 5 is, let's get our front action done here, right? So now this goes like that, okay? Let's look at our pumpkins. We got that. We got that. We're gonna have a leaf hang out there. And we've got the stump. The stump does get washed out. So I have an idea for the stump. I'm wondering if I just go cut them out of crumb cake cardstock is what I'm thinking. So, and in the die set here, there's a little pumpkin and there's a big pumpkin stem. So I might just opt to die cut out with those 2. So let's see what that looks like. Let me grab some scraps of crumb cake quick. Okay, so all I did was grab a scrap of crumb cake here, and then we'll run this through the die cutting machine and see what that looks like, because that might just be our golden ticket. Okay, so we've got a stump here, right, and then that one, and that little guy will look good on here, I think, right? I think then they stand out, they're a little more pronounced, right? And then I still think that looks good there. I think that looks good there. And that looks good. All right, so it does work better with them being a little darker out of the cardstock. Okay, so I think we're good there. Let's grab the dies so we don't lose them. And cut that off. All right, so let's assemble this bad boy. I put my blockaroo here to help me hold it. So we gotta get all these things put together. So what I think I'm gonna do is put a little dot of liquid glue right there. And then I'm gonna put one right here. And we'll assemble the stumps to the pumpkins. There, I was like, I know he's here. He was stuck to my hand. So this is gonna go here. Yes, Debbie, thank you for that. I was thinking the same thing. When you said that, that was also resonating in me as well. So we're gonna pop both of these guys up. See what happens. And I'm gonna make sure I get one behind that little stump there. And that looks good. And then we'll just do a few over here. Okay. And you guys feeling like we need a dimensional right there? Because it looks empty. So one more right there. Okay, so let's grab this. Put you right about there. Right there. And then for this leaf, that'll be really good adding a dimensional right at the tippy top. And then that can tuck in like that. And then for this guy, we'll do, I don't think we need a dimensional. I think so. Let's do it anyways. Okay, so let's put a little dimensional at the tip of the leaf, and then I'm going to add liquid glue at the base. So it's planted firm like this. Good deal. And then for this guy, I think what we'll do is just put a little couple dots of glue. One there. Oh my goodness. Come on. I knew there was glue in there. I didn't want to squeeze too hard. All right, then this guy's gonna come down like that. Okay, then we have some of those Cajun gems. Okay, wait. Let's go over to clue number 7 and see what that is. Okay, clue 7 says, adhere these layers to the card base as follows. Which we've already done this, right? The extra large was on the top. We were fine. I put my small, and then I did mine a little bit different, right? So she's got medium on the second panel. The pattern paper is here, and then the small, and then the large. So I switched my small and my medium around. But as long as you do your card facing with that panel up and do it folded the opposite way, you'll be fine, right? Okay, so let's see what clue number 8 has in store for us. All right, 8. Final measurement, when folded properly, is an A2 size, and you see only panels 1 and 3, which is true. I measured it, so even though you start with the opposite end, I still got 5.5, right, by 4 1/4. So that's a check. Either way works, right? I just had to cut a different panel piece for white and Cajun Craze. Don't forget to click thumbs up. Thanks, Cindy Runtree. I appreciate that reminder. Okay, then we have the clue I've been waiting for, which is clue number 9. Even though it says number 7, I didn't reprint it. So I'm frugal with my paper, you guys. Embellish Stella to your heart's content. All right, I have an idea that I want to use these Cajun Craze dots, these gemsies. So I want to use, I was envisioning one there, one like that, and let's put one there. Okay, I'm good with that. You could add more down here, but on my paper is a little busy, so I don't know if it would blend in or be okay. I'm gonna go with those 3. Now, I haven't used ribbon yet. I want to use ribbon, so let me tell you how I want to add ribbon. So let's go. So did anybody ever tell you that when you're done using dies, you should verify the count? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So there's 10, and I'm gonna put these guys all in here. And then when you look at the back here, it says 10. So I always do that count. 99.9% of the time I do the count. I do miss it from time to time. So I have 10 in there, which is great. So let's look at the bow. So I was thinking I'm going to put a little bow right there. And it's either going to be in this espresso, which would tie in the espresso, or it's going to be in crumb cake. And I could see either one. I think I'll go with the espresso just because I think it'll stand out more than the crumb cake. And so I'm going to make a small, so my holes have gotten worn here. So I get 2 different measurements. At the top is 1, and then the bottom is a different one. So I get different bows because of that. So I'm going to go with that one and go at the top here. Ah, Cindy agrees with me for the espresso bow for the win. Yay. All right. Let's grab that ribbon scissors. Trim that tail. Get the bowsy off of here. All right, and use a little glue dot. And we're going to put it right there in the middle. Right there. So I'm going to put that dot down. I'm going to add the bow right to it. Fluff your bunny ears. I'm going to trim it just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the instruction also said, as Stella to your heart's content. Oh, well, I think we're going to Stella the stumps because we can. And you could Stella over your leaves, or I could Stella my leaves. Anything that's stamped, if you Stella it, it's going to make it bleed or get weird on you. So I'm going to stay away from Stellaing anything that I stamped, which is almost the entire front of the card. So we'll call it good with that. Double bow, use both. Oh, are you saying to put a crumb cake bow on this little baby pumpkin? Or, I don't know. I pictured doing espresso and the crumb cake in the same, and I wasn't feeling it. I actually like the brown bow on there like that. I think I'm good. I think we're gonna call her good, you guys. We're good to go. I think we got it all done. We used beautiful pumpkins tonight for the stamp set, and we brought in the matching dies. We brought in the espresso twine from, it's actually a 2-pack. It has Old Olive and espresso, but I'm not finding any Old Olive, so I'm glad. Old Olive would have gotten lost too because of leaves. I think the brown sticks out good. We used their Cajun dots here. Fun stuff. I brought in a few ink pad colors, the espresso, Cajun, Old Olive, and crumb cake. And yeah, we made a fall card for somebody that is a friend that needs a little autumn wishes. Yeah, very good. I think I'm good with it. I'm crooked. I see that. Can you guys see that it's crooked? Right here, I glued it where it's actually got a little bit of, it's going to the left, and here it's hanging over. So if that happens to you, you could just leave it because whatever friend you give it to probably won't notice. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to kind of twist it. We're going to twist it like that and see if that can work. We're going to manipulate the fold. You could also get your heat gun out, and the heat gun could take it off. But look at what I'm doing. I'm just twisting it like this, and then what you can do is burnish that and see if that helps. Yep, it's straighter. I'll take that straighter a bit. So, okay. Yeah, no one will really notice. You're right. Oh, all right. So that clue number 8 was technically the last one, but I just wanted to use the magnifying glass again. So, all right, let's see what the last item is here. What you do next? Thanks, Jean Shoot. So you guys might remember we did a shutter card like this, or this version of a card. It was part of a share a recipe, create a card, inspire others. I think we did a very similar one, and I think I messed that one up too. I think I had it turned around, but all good. What do you do now? You're going to share your creation by posting a comment in the photo section of the Facebook group in the event. So in the Cards by Christine Facebook page, so under Facebook, and you go to Cards by Christine, and in the More section, there's events, if you're in your phone. And right now we have the mystery card night. In other ways, after tonight, they'll be in the past events. If you click on discussion, I was on my A game, and I have in here, we hope that you enjoyed, I hope you had a great time solving the mystery with us. Show off your beautiful creations and be inspired by everyone's cards. If you submit a card by the night of November 30th, you'll get in on the drawing. And so all you do is you click on comment, and then you can go to your phone and click the camera. And hi guys, you can take a picture of your card. Now, it might be helpful to hold it, right? Just get your hand in there and hold it like that, right? And then you click done, and then you hit send. Now, if you want to add a picture of what the inside looks like, you could stretch it out and then tag team on the reply there. You can take another picture and you could kind of, hi guys, you could open it up like that so that people can see the other part of the card. And so when you do it like that, what happens is the first card is there, and then the second picture is an indent of that first post. So we did it. Cute card. Thanks for sharing. I was following you, so mine is like yours. Oh, but all's good. It still worked. Okay, perfect. You know, you guys, there are no mistakes in stamping. What do we say? There's only happy accidents. Right? Exactly. So that's how we go. So we got a nice little fall card here. All right, I have a few minutes. I wanted to share with you what I got in my box here from Backstage. So this is a box and this is the bag. Let me flip it down. So we got this. It's got all the little cowboy and hats and cactuses, and it says Stampin' Up on it. Oh, the one thing I didn't bring are my pins. I'll have to show the pins another time. All right, so what's in the box of fun here? For presenting at Backstage, they gave me this little makeup bag, or whatever you might call it, a little baggie, and that's where all of the little gizmos and gadgets were in. So that was full of things, and that had in it that mirror that I showed off earlier, a lip balm, right, so it had that. I got this nail file, was pretty cool. This was part of in here for doing the presentation, so there's a nail file. That was in here. I brought glue along. That was not a gift. And there was, in the Backstage bag, there were these pens. Then they actually write those colors. Yellow, I want to say Darling Duckling, and then peach pie, pecan pie, and espresso, right? So it actually writes those colors. And this was in the bag for presenting. It's a little keychain that says Stampin' Up on it. That looked like that. So that's pretty cool. Got a little keychain. And the thank you card here is from Genevieve. And it was, thank you so much for all the effort you put into this presentations. You have a great mindset and it shows in your success. I know you'll do a great job. So that was the card I got from Genevieve for presenting. And then I got a card from Sarah and Shelley for being a top performer. And oh, what was this for? It says, at last year's Backstage, I challenged you to help at least one team member advance or reinstate to Silver Elite in time for Backstage. And I did it. Yep. We actually had a bunch of people. We had 2 of them extra that promoted to Silver Elite so they could go. Your leadership helps someone gain the skills and confidence to soar, and that's something to celebrate. Thank you for believing in your team and helping them reach new heights. Yay. So that is cool. I got that card. This is the card that Jenna Helms gave me. Very pretty. I can't wait to show that one to Tyler. So that's awesome. Tracy Sorge gave me a pillow gift. There's a pretty card in here. And she wrote, thank you for bringing me into your life through the bees and Stampin' Up. You are a great leader and inspiration. I cherish our friendship. So Tracy gave me that with this amazing pillow gift. She had some bone folders that were personalized with our name on them and Backstage Vegas. So cool with the date on it. And there's little candies in here, a pen. There are these little page markers, and then a little book in here. And so she gave the 5 of us, well, the 4 of us, these gifts. Okay, so that was super awesome. And then this was also in my bag, and this is because I was a top performer, and I think I opened it. Maybe I didn't. But inside here are all of my new pins that I got for this year. So I've got, this one is for team building. And then I've got one here for sales. And then here's one for leadership. And then the last one here was for overall. So I got my pins, yay. So that's cool. I put them out on my bookcase. Right, and then put you back in here. Okay, I also got my name badge in here. This is what we got. We all thought it was the state of Tennessee, right? Because when it's like that, oh, and Sarah signed it, look at that. So we all thought it was Tennessee, which is an indicator of maybe next year's or the next one where it's at, but it's not. We all were told, nope, it's not. So, but really cool lanyard here. So that's what we got to wear around for the Monday through Thursday, or Wednesday. This one is from Ann Hebner. So she's my upline, but I'm her 4th level, so I'm technically not, because it rolls down where she can't see anything about me, but she gave me that. So she always still brings me a gift, which is super cool. So I'm excited to try that. Then this one is from Missy Shipment. She was a fellow presenter. Hello, honey. How's my baby? You want to come up here and say hi? Oh, you want to knock over my glue? Hi. Well, hello, baby. Nobody can see you. Oh, the little purr monster is out. So Missy Shipman was a fellow presenter. She presented on working towards gold and gold elite. She does sewing, which is super cool. I'm so glad we're friends. So she made a little Kleenex packet for all of her fellow presenters that she knew. So that's cool. And then Diane Bogenhagen had a cute little bag here. There was different candies in here. So I got the lemon drops and the honey candies. And there was something else in there too, and I already got it out of there. And then I got these we had to make and take. You don't like the way that smells, honey, I know. It's got minties in it. So there was a little, that was on the bag from Tracy. And then there was make and takes one night, and we got to make 3 cards, and we got 3 envelopes. So it was these ones. So you've got this. And so those are the 3 cards that we made. And yeah, so I got them done. Hey, yay. I don't always make and takes, but it's the first time I sat and stamped and made a card that wasn't involving my business. So yay. I think that's pretty much everything else that I wanted to share with you guys of what was from on stage. I have 2 pins yet. There's a pin for being a top performer, and I think there's a microphone pin, and they're both in my purse. I think that's where I ended up putting them. So good. Mitzi says she loves the card, and my choice is good. And I just gave my girl some catnip. Okay, very good. So I can show that one. So Nancy Moles said that, and so I gotta put it out there. Okay, all right. Opportunity for embellishments. Yes, exactly. That is what they are. All right. So I think I got through everything, you guys. Tyler's going to be here any minute, so I better button things up and be ready to be dressed for the outdoors to go work on some leaves, I guess. Fun stuff, right? So not really. All right. So we went over a lot of stuff. We got our mystery card made. Yay. So that's very cool. I think that the mystery card night for December is going to be on the front end of the month versus the back end of the month. So as soon as I can get clue 1 for you, I'll get that published. I will be sharing this PDF tutorial. I'll put it into the VIP group, and I'll also put it in the Inspiration Hive so you guys have it. So, all right, very good. All right. So my box is empty. That's all I've got. So Honey's looking for some love. I think I'll give her a little love and get my stuff all buttoned up here and be ready for Tyler. So I will be live now. Okay, tomorrow's Tuesday. Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Is there supposed to be a Share, Create, Inspire on Wednesday? Well, if there is, I don't have a recipe card. So if there is one scheduled, I will have to push it out to next week. So I don't think I have a recipe card for Share, Create, Inspire this month. So we'll have to figure that out. So I might have to ask somebody local to get me something. So then I'll be live on Thursday night for the Sweet Bundle class. Rose Coleman, if you're in Canada or if you're in the US and want to get her kit through me for the technique class, she's teaching class on Thursday at 11:30. And then I'll be live with you guys for Stamp-a-Stack on Friday at 1 o'clock. And then Diane teaches it on Saturday in person. So, yay. All right. Bundle up. I know, right? It's like something in the 30s here. So, all right. Lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs, you guys. We'll see you later. Love ya. Bye.